Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Lil Durk. Now, Lil Durk has been in an on and off again, or I should say a long-going beef with Quando Rondo and his crew since what happened to King Von in Atlanta in November of 2020. Now, this has been a weird situation because this hasn't been one of those beefs that play out on social media and both sides meet up and things are all right. No, this is a real deal situation that resulted in people being shot and someone losing their life, right? Now, a lot of this stems from the fact that King Von, prior to him passing away, had a beef with NBA Youngboy. And Lil Durk has kind of taken on that whole beef, man. It seems like all of that has been in his lap because since King Von has passed away and since he's the hottest rapper out of his crew, he's almost put in the leadership position. Now, recently, Quando Rondo, somebody he has a quote-unquote beef with, took to social media and he wanted to post about a new project that he was dropping, not knowing that this would start a chain reaction that would reignite the beef between him and Lil Durk on social media. Now, before we get to the post and talk about all the interactions or the back and forth between these two, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, so let's talk about Quando Rondo. Now, Quando Rondo has been fairly quiet on social media. As you see, he doesn't post much if you look at his page. And most of the things that he posts, it has nothing to do with his past beefs. It seems like since the interview that he did with Angela Yee, he's been trying to sway away from doing anything publicly or speaking anything publicly that has to do with his interactions with OTF or Lil Durk or their past beef and all the things that have happened in between King Von losing his life, right? But one thing is for certain. Quando Rondo is a recording artist in the recording industry. So he has to promote his projects and he has to promote his albums. And he shocked everybody when he went to social media recently and he posted this right here. And this is a picture of him of what I'm guessing is going to be his next album coming up. Now, this picture in the background, it looks like a picture of his homeboy Lil Pab, who lost his life. And I'm not sure if this is a mixtape or an album, but Quando Rondo was out here trying to promote, which makes sense, right? Now, in the caption of this post, he said this. He said, "One more month. I put my heart in this album, seen a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I lost my right-hand man in front of my eyes. I love you, Thug. I'm going #1 for you, big bruh. 1633. So basically, putting it out there that he was going to rep for his homeboy, Lil Pab, who he lost right in front of his face. It was a crazy scene that played out in Los Angeles.
And a wild scene here as investigators say the apparent target of this deadly gunfire, a rapper from the Atlanta area. They say a pretty well-known rapper, too, in this area, along with a second person in his black Cadillac Escalade. May have been a relative, may have been a member of his entourage. We don't know, but it's that second person, not the rapper, but the second person who was hit by gunfire, dies from the gunfire.
When Quando Rondo and his friends were in town, I'm guessing to do some business, and then they were ambushed by some gunmen at a gas station. To this day, the gunmen have not been arrested and nobody has been brought up on charges. There's only wide speculation about who was responsible for what went down with Quando Rondo, and there's been a lot of taunting and dissing back and forth. Now, Quando Rondo isn't completely innocent in this situation, right? Because after King Von lost his life, Quando Rondo and his team, they were highly vocal and highly visible on social media, taunting King Von and his team and taunting Lil Durk and his side, right? A lot of back and forth between all these sides, even though most people would rather them find a peaceful resolution to this situation. Now, what's crazy about this situation is nowhere in this post do I see that Quando Rondo was dissing anybody. It seems like he was showing love to his fallen homeboy Lil Pab, who just lost his life from the fact that he was hanging out with Quando Rondo, and he probably feels guilty about that situation. Seemed like this whole project might even be dedicated to Lil Pab in a way for him to show his condolences or to show his respects for a fallen friend. Now, what's even crazier is, it seems like this might have caught Lil Durk's attention. Like, Lil Durk has been sneak dissing a lot when it comes to Quando Rondo, you know? And some can interpret what he says for, proclamations of things that have happened in the past or things that are going to happen in the future. One thing that was for certain is that they've shut down business for Quando Rondo as far as him doing shows. It seemed like ever since the incident with King Von, he's had a tough time booking shows from city to city and town to town. It's like it shut everything down for Quando Rondo in that aspect, right? And for Lil Durk and them, it just seems like the same thing that they're used to when they're in Chicago. But for Lil Durk, it seems like he's still taking this very personal with a post that he put out there recently. Now, Lil Durk went to social media and he posted this right here in his story. Now, Lil Durk, he said this in the post. He said, I could drop this single and up the streets on God. Your release date ain't safe, son. Now, he didn't name any names in this post. He didn't say, hey, Quando Rondo, I see you got an album or a mixtape dropping in a month. I'm going to drop a hot new single on your release date and try to mess up your release. He didn't say that, man. He basically put it out there that, yo, I'm so hot right now in this rap game that I could drop something on your release date and it ain't safe for you. You know what I mean? I'll probably end up getting the lion's share of the sales and the views because I'm a hotter artist in the game right now. Now, that's my interpretation. Because Lil Durk, let's be real, he's on a nice wave right now. Like, he's really killing it. The way that they handled the tour situation, the joint album with Lil Baby, everything's been clicking on all cylinders. And people are expected and looking for the next project. Since 7220, it had a lot of people like that out, man. Everybody pretty much, he had pretty much a good response from the hip hop community with that album. So now it's back to what is he talking about and trying to figure out, is he sneak dissing Quando Rondo or not? Because it's odd that he put this out right after Quando Rondo made a post about his new album coming out in a month. And does Lil Durk have the ability to mess up your release? Maybe, and maybe not. It depends on how the fans feel about it. This could also just be him bragging a little bit or whatnot, right? But what happened next shocked everybody because all the interactions between Quando Rondo and Lil Durk are always kind of like sneak dissy. You do this, I do this, and nobody mentions each other's name, right? And Quando Rondo made a post right here. Now, in this post, you see Quando Rondo said this. He said, drop that. We all on a time schedule. Basically saying to Lil Durk, or some people interpret this as him saying to Lil Durk that, yo, go ahead and drop it. I'm not going to be running away from no release date because you got something that you want to drop and you think you can mess up my release. Even though we know the situation between Quando Rondo and Lil Durk is a lot deeper than just rap or whatnot. This still looks like, man, this is rekindling a big part of the beef because Quando Rondo is obviously watching what Lil Durk is doing on social media, and Lil Durk is obviously watching what Quando Rondo and his team are doing on social media. Even recently, you had Lil Tim, who was on his live, and some guy from Chicago came onto his live and actually started to diss him and ask him why he's hiding.
Okay, Dave, where's you at? Why is you hiding, no BD? Why you hiding? And I'm smoking Lil Pab on BD. Why you hiding? Who is it? This famous.
And he tried to figure out who the guy was and a lot of things like that. But it was a weird situation to let you know that, yo, this beef thing between them, this situation that they got going on is something realer than you see with other situations. We watch a lot of Charleston White. We watch a lot of these other guys, and it's entertaining because you never really see them get into it. And yes, it can be serious at points, but you know that cooler heads could prevail, that people will probably make the right decision going forward. But with Lil Durk, Quando Rondo, with OTF, NBA Youngboy and all them, it's just a different type of situation because people have actually lost their lives and it seems so much more serious. There's people who are closer to the streets that are related to this than there are people who are closer to the music business. And that's the scary part about it. But what do you guys think about this, man? Do you think that Quando Rondo and Lil Durk are sneak dissing each other and just letting each other know that, hey, I got my eye on what you're doing? Or is it a possibility that all of these posts were made out of nowhere and they are not related in any type of way? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.